Hi, hello, hi. So, today, what I want to talk to you about is part 2 of the Top Surgery 101 mini-series that I'm doing. So today's topic is going to be how to take care of someone who's just had top surgery. Now, this is not just about physically how to care for someone. I'm focusing a great deal on the emotional work involved because for me, that was a huge issue, and that's really what made the difference for me in my recovery and what I've noticed other people who dealt with post-op depression also had to deal with in their recovery. A lot of it is emotional. So, first things first. I've already made a video on the responsibilities of the person who's having surgery and their responsibility to communicate their needs and all that good stuff. There will be a link for that in the description, so you could go watch that if you like. Today's video is going to be focusing on you as a caretaker. You don't have to be the caretaker to be watching this, but I'm just going to keep using you because I'd like to imagine them talking directly to someone. So, you're about to accompany someone who's going to have top surgery. So first things first, you need to realize what it means to be taking care of someone post-op. It is harder than you probably think it is to entirely focus on another person because, well, your friend or family member or spouse or partner is having top surgery. While that is going on, your life is still going on, and you will also encounter hardships, and you will also have bad days, and there will also be days where you don't feel well. But unfortunately, if you are taking on the responsibility as a caretaker for someone else for surgery, during that 1 week, you really need to put your needs aside. I'm not saying don't eat or bathe yourself or drink or breathe. I'm not saying that at all, but definitely please try to not burden the person who's just had surgery with your needs and with your issues. It is very hard to have surgery, or at least it was for me. Of course, trigger warning for this video, surgery talk, so incisions and pain and all that stuff. When I had surgery, I didn't know I had EDS, as I've said before, so things were a little more complicated than I thought they would be. And I was in a lot of pain, and I wasn't able to do anything for myself. So the most important thing for me when I was recovering that was really difficult was I felt really out of control. I felt like I had no agency over my body. I had no agency over how comfortable I was, the amount of pain that I was in, and what I could do about the pain I was in, how clean I was, when I used the bathroom, what I ate, how much I ate, when I drank. I wasn't able to do anything. And again, granted, my surgery might have been a little more intense given the fact that I had EDS and didn't know that I had EDS, and even just the intense compression from the wraps was enough to like break a rib for me, and I didn't know. But yeah, the lack of agency over my body, the feeling of not being in control at all was really difficult for me. So you, as a caretaker, what I think the most important thing is making sure that the person you're taking care of feels like they have some control over their environment, some control over their body, over what's happening to their body. It makes such a huge difference just to feel that control. A lot of people I've spoken to who had top surgery, a big contributor to their post-op depression was, 1, feeling like they weren't taken care of the way that they needed to, and 2, feeling completely out of control, needing to rely on someone who's letting them down, whether it be taking care of them physically or taking care of their environment, letting the house fall into shambles, things like that. It's like that doesn't help the person recovering. It just contributes to how little control they feel they have over their environment. So please do your very best to take care of not only them, but the space that you are occupying, because they aren't able to clean up and do all the things that they need you to do. The next really important thing is, like I said, you need to realize that this is a bigger job than you probably think it is, and that this person who's recovering might not be the same as someone else that you've helped who's recovered from surgery. Everyone's body is different, so it's really important, or at least it was important to me, that you as the caretaker, please try not to be annoyed by the person you're taking care of. It might be 3 a.m. and they might need you to fluff their pillows for the 17th time, but realize that is what you're there for. This is not for the rest of your life. This is not for eternity. For 1 week, this person needs you to just do everything for them. Just for this week, at least. In my experience, I was in Florida, I'm nowhere near home. For 1 week, I needed my caretakers to just do everything. So I'm going to tell you a little story that might help to put into perspective what it's like to be someone recovering. I was in a lot of pain. A lot of people say to sleep in a recliner after surgery. For me personally, that didn't work out. Recliners already, I've realized now, are a huge trigger for back pain for me, but after surgery, it was even worse. So the reason why I think this is because recliners are shaped like, okay, this is a chair, okay? Let's say like this is where you put your butt, this is the back of the chair. This is a recliner. all right? Right here at the center where the bottom part meets the top part is kind of where your lower back is. And with EDS and my joints being kind of loose the way that they are, not only do they pop out of their sockets very easily, but they also get shoved into their sockets way too far. So my hips were being shoved into my pelvis and my back was being shoved upward into my hips basically. And my back, my back hurt so bad. I had the wraps around me and they were squeezing my chest, and I didn't realize how dangerous the wraps and the compression were while having EDS, so I thought that the pain I was in from the wraps was normal. It's not. So I was in so much pain that I couldn't breathe. My back, my spine was pushing into my body, my hips were pushing into my body, and my ribs were just being crushed, and they were squeezing my back, so my back just kept being pushed further and further in, and it was really, like, I actually couldn't move. So I kept needing to be readjusted. I would have, okay, give me another pillow. Okay, take one pillow away. Could you move this pillow? Could you move it a little more to the left, a little more to the right? I felt so bad because, firstly, just without dealing with the whole like feeling like a burden thing, try to imagine what it's like to be in that position. I am exhausted. I'm so tired and I'm in so much pain, and no matter how I change the position of my body or how many pillows I add or retract, the pain won't go away, and I can't escape it. The painkillers are doing nothing for me. I want so desperately to escape my body and I can't. And I need to stay under these wraps for another 7 days. And I don't even get to choose how many pillows are propping me up. I don't get to decide when I change position. I can't move. I completely need to rely on this other person. So I already feel powerless in that situation. Where you come in as the caretaker is not only moving the pillows and fluffing the pillows and changing position, you need to emotionally be there for that person. You might be annoyed, it might be 3 a.m. and you're exhausted and you just don't want to fluff one more goddamn pillow. But you need to realize this is the commitment you're making to that person. You need to be able to be that person. In that moment, what I needed was words of reassurance and, being reminded like, it's okay, this is what I'm here for. It'll be fine. I'm going to keep moving these pillows until you're comfortable. We're going to find a comfortable position. And then if you need to move again, we'll move you again. It's not a problem, Aaron. It's like, this isn't going to last forever. Soon these wraps will be off. You won't be in pain forever. And you don't have to worry. I'm here. I am your arms for the next week. This is what I'm here for. You tell me what to do and I'll do it. Like, I needed that reassurance of knowing that I wasn't being a burden, and that if I was uncomfortable or in pain again, that I could ask the person that I'm with to move me again. But I didn't vocalize that and vocalize that those were my needs, and that's not what happened with me. And instead I felt annoying, and every time I needed to be readjusted, it felt like I was asking someone to rip their teeth right out of their skull. So after being readjusted 7 times and it's the middle of the night and they're tired and they go straight back to their room to sleep, do you really, really, really think that I'm going to call out and ask to have my pillows fluffed again? Do you actually think that's gonna happen? No. Instead, I sat in my recliner in so much pain that I kept passing out and waking back up again, and I actually just wanted to die in that moment, and I just cried because I just wanted my mom so badly. I was in so much pain and I felt like I couldn't ask for the help that I needed, and it started to hit me that the people that I really wished had been there, I started to really feel their missing presence. And I feel like this is important because a lot of trans people don't get to have their parents there during surgery, or their family member, or the person who supported them their whole life. That person usually isn't present when they have surgery because, I'm not saying all the time, but a lot of times we're not faced with immediate approval. A lot of us have to deal with some rejection, and for some parents it's too hard for them to be there for their kid during surgery. But that's why it's even more important for you as the caretaker to be able to be selfless and understand that in that week, that's what a lot of us are going to need. We're going to need your undivided love and care and willingness to actually be there helping us. That's what I needed during my top surgery recovery. I needed someone who was there for me and who, even if they were exhausted and annoyed, at least didn't show how exhausted and annoyed they were. And another thing that's really important, at least to me, is when the person who's just had surgery asks you for something, if they voice a need, please be quick to respond to their need. Honestly, you know what? I don't really care if I sound really demanding in this moment because I'm not having surgery for the rest of my life. I'm not telling you to do this with your partner, that you need to be on someone's beck and call all day, every day. This is 1 week. I'm giving you instructions for what I think would be the ideal situation for someone 1 week after they've had surgery. And if you can't do these things, or you think that I'm being too demanding, or that, well, my needs matter too, maybe you shouldn't be the one taking care of someone after surgery. Nobody's saying that your needs aren't important. And nobody's saying to let it evolve into an abusive situation. Nobody's saying that the person who's just had surgery is allowed to call you names and be mean to you or be abusive in any way, or like, nobody's saying that. Nobody's saying to tolerate abusive behavior at all. It is not abusive behavior for your person, friend, partner who's just had surgery to ask you for help. That's not abusive. That's what you're signing up for. You need to be able to help them, and when they ask you for something, you need to be able to do it right away. And I'm going to explain why that's important. After surgery, I couldn't do anything. The only thing I have control over is what I am asking you for. The very least you can do is the moment that the person who's just had surgery asks you for something, you get up and you do it. And if you can't do that, you don't have to be a caretaker. You don't have to go with someone after surgery. If the person you love is having surgery and they're upset at you because you are being honest in saying that you can't be the person to take care of them, then that's a them problem. Don't let them gaslight you into thinking you have to be the person who takes care of them post-op because you're my girlfriend, or you're my mom, or you're my best friend. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to be their caretaker. But if you make the commitment to be that person who's there after surgery, you need to be the best version of yourself that you can. It's so important, and it makes such a huge difference in someone's healing process. For me, my trigger was if I ask for food or water and I'm not given it, and then I need to really choose carefully when and what time I ask for water at because they might not get up to get me water right away the next time that I need it, that hit me somewhere really hard. That for me was a trigger from like when I was very young. Like having someone eat in front of me when I haven't eaten yet and feeling like I need to tell them to remember to feed me. And then on top of that, when I do ask them to feed me, like anything, the slightest eye roll, a sigh, like a fine, like it's not about you actually doing it, but what's equally as important as you actually doing the thing and actually taking care of the person is your attitude when taking care of them. So if you get up begrudgingly to get the person water, or you get up to begrudgingly make them food, or like, oh, you're hungry again, or fine. If you have attitude about that and you make them feel bad, that's just as bad as you not actually doing it. You might not realize it, but it is. You're contributing to us feeling like we don't get to have control. We're a burden. We're taking up too much space. We don't get to ask for help. We need to feel bad about how and when we ask for help. That is my number one piece of advice. Realize that this is what is expected of you, or this is what you should be doing to make it an ideal situation and to make it the least traumatic as you can for the person you're there for. And if you can't do that, then just don't do it. Let them find someone else. Or take another person with you. Go be 2 people, be 3 people, be as many people as you need taking care of that person so that you only need to do like one thing a day. My next piece of advice is be proactive in the help that you are offering the person you are with. Some people might have difficulty voicing their needs. And I addressed that in my last video, and I talk about how the person receiving help is also responsible for voicing what it is that they need and how they need you to take care of them and what their expectations are. That is their responsibility. They need to be able to communicate. The person with them can't read minds, but luckily for you, you're watching this video, so I am now here to give you more pro tips. Try to be proactive in the help you are offering your loved one. When you wake up, ask them if they're hungry, if they're thirsty. If they're not, make sure that there's something prepared that's within reach that's easy for them to eat, or make sure that they always have a drink by their side with a straw in it so that they could drink if they want to. Make sure that they never run out of the things that they need. If you want to really be like AA+, like the best ever, just like always be one step ahead. Like my ideal situation would be like there are always 2 bottles of water next to me at all times so that I could drink my bottle of water without worrying about when this bottle runs out, because when this runs out, there's a next bottle. And then when I get to that next bottle, and you see me on that next bottle, if you get me a new bottle again, it's like, wow, you blew my mind. You're just the best. That would be awesome. So that would be my pro tip for how to take care of your loved one. So I really think that being proactive is such a huge thing. You know, like not all of this is a must, but you know, if you really want to know what you should expect and what you should be doing and what would make a huge difference to the person you're with, this, in my opinion, is it. So these are the tips that I have for you as a caretaker. Follow them if you want to, don't follow them if you don't want to, but I am just telling you what would have made a difference for me and for the other people I've spoken to who had post-op depression, how pivotal your role is in our recovery and how much power you have, and to be really careful with that. So that's it. My next videos are going to be about post-op depression and about gender dysphoria, body dysmorphia, and top surgery, how those all kind of go together. So that's it. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. I hope you're doing well and you take care and you have a great week. All right, thanks so much for watching. Bye.